So I wasn't able to cover this news when it first came out because of some personal family issues that took place over like the past week or so. So I'm dealing with that, but what I want to do is talk about them. And it's Nikon's big updates from CES, a lens that they came out with, that they're coming out with for the Z line camera, and to talk about 8K, because now 8K is now going to be a thing. So at CES, you heard Nikon talk about more updates that they're going to come out with through firmware for their Z6 and Z7 mirrorless full frame cameras. And that's very, very promising because it shows that they're listening. And that's one of the big things I covered in video is like, why Nikon, Canon, do they still sucks and everything like that. If you haven't checked that video, check that out because I gave my thoughts on stuff from 2014. But that was one of my complaints back then. And that was something that's pretty much held through to kind of almost now is, are they really listening to the consumer? Now, with this new update, you're essentially getting three big things right here. Eye autofocus. It's a big thing. A lot of people really want it, and it's something that they're going to address and bring. The other thing is you're getting raw video, which I'll cover in 1 second and how that's coming out, and also CFexpress support. With that, essentially, you know, Nikon used to kind of really think XQD, the card and everything, was going to be kind of the thing of the future, and it never really happened. So what you do is basically, I think they're going to either send it in and you can get it converted through Nikon support and everything to be able to use the CFexpress format, because that's more future-proof compared to XQD and the limited use that that has, and CFexpress is a little bit better in regards to basically anything kind of XQD. And the other big thing is that raw video capability that's going to come through a partnership with Atomos, which makes the recorders, off-camera, video monitor. And what it's going to do is, the one big they're saying is that it's the first full-frame mirrorless to do so. You're going to be able to output ProRes video, full RAW, through the Atomos Ninja V. A lot of people aren't going to be able to use that, but the fact that it's an option, if you're seriously into video, you're probably already invested in some kind of video recorder like that anyway, but I think that's a great first step for stuff like this. The last thing, so those are three big updates, and they should be coming within the next few months. Once again, promising to hear Nikon doing that. The other big thing is a new Z lens that they're coming out with, and one that's getting a little bit more flack than it should, only because it's a constant f4, and it's their Nikon 14-30 Z lens f4. And it's being discounted because, once again, it is an f4 and it is $1,300, but it's also weather sealed and it has a programmable control ring on it as well. But once again, do you need 2.8? 2.8s are rather expensive lenses, and they're only a bit more expensive, and you kind of can't compare a ton compared to what's out there, because Sony's kind of really the only one that's done it, and their 24-70 is pricey. It's a little bit heavy too for the mirrorless system, but it's what's out there and it's what you can kind of compare it to. The only other thing I could say is f2.8 lenses are great lenses. They're professional, great, low light, constant is great, but you always don't need to shoot at 2.8. And I had a very controversial video talking about why I didn't mind using f4 lenses most of the time, mainly the Canon 16-35 f4 when I had it. And that was, that was a very fun video. I'm going to link that down below if you care about that discussion, but it might be informative to you who really think you always have to shoot at 2.8, because you really don't. The only lens I can really compare to is the Sony Zeiss 16-35 f4 OSS, which is about $1,400 as well for the Sony system. So they're very similar priced. You can't say Nikon's really trying to kill it out there, because when Nikon, in all regards to the lens roadmap, when they come out with that actual 24-70 2.8, it's going to be a lot of money. So just that's how it is, and get used to it. The other big thing we have to talk about is 8K now becoming the new future. And we heard a lot about this at CES as well. Well, a little bit. And it's mainly from Sharp. If you have no idea who Sharp is, you're probably too young. But Sharp is actually coming out with, and they displayed a true 8K. Now, this is very interesting because Canon has also been noted to say that they're also going to come out with 8K in an EOS R type camera. And even rumors of Sony before a lot of this stuff, with their possible Sony A7000 or anything, is supposed to have 8K as well. This is all great and dandy, this is all fine, but is there a need for 8K? Do we still even have a need for 4K right now in 2019, when the fact is, most people still can't view it or use it or edit it properly? Even on their own computer screens, they're not able to view it as well, besides just TVs and everything. So it's just gonna be a whole year of people saying they want 8K when they still don't even understand what 4K, and if anything, full HD 1080p means. They don't understand what frames per second means. Canon saying they're gonna give this when they don't even include 1080p video, 120 frames per second, or even 4K video at some usable frame rate in a lot of their cameras. I don't see that really being a thing or something usable besides for some, you know, kind of bullcrap 8K photo mode or something like that no one's going to use, like the 6K photo modes out there that no one cares about. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that if that's something that you use, but I think the 8K phase and craze needs to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. I guess it's cool that it's coming out. I guess 8K TVs are going to be a thing now too, but let's kind of perfect 4K and let's get everyone on the same page to provide 4K. You're not even getting everyone using 4K at 60 frames per second either. What is this? What are we doing here? So let's perfect 4K first. Let's get everyone onto 4K in the next 2 years and then worry about 8K, because by the time we're past 4K, having this discussion about 8K, 16K will, you know, it's already out there actually, but 16K will absolutely be a thing, and you still won't even be able to view hardly 4K properly. It's not even being broadcasted on TV if you still even have TV or know what that is yet. But that's all the news out there. What are your thoughts on Nikon? They're going to release firmware to care about their customers, kind of like what Fuji does. Let's see if they keep doing that. That's very, very bright. So Nikon, that's awesome. If you're a user base out there in the Z system, the Nikon 14-30 f4 lens, is it too expensive for what it is? Are f4 lenses something that shouldn't be made? Or is there room for them in this world, just like there is 2.8s? And is the future 8K right now video? Just let me know down below.